of those days.
All right, so Dolly Parton. So what makes a man?
And P.S. Dolly Parton in real life was one of the sweetest people ever. Just since we're talking,
I've never heard a bad word about Dolly Parton.
She is the most.
She's like
adorable,
the Jimmy Stewart of women.
She's just an angel. She's just great.
Who was the least responsive to being impersonated in your show?
This is the best, and not on purpose. Back in the day, so I told you we had some crazy characters that you won't even know anymore. But Carol Channing comes to our show, and it's really strange when you make me think back like this that she was even there. So Carol Channing from Hello Dolly, those of you who don't know, that's what she lived on for 100 years. Comes to the show, she sits up front, and we did Carol Channing in the show. And after the show, she meets, and she goes, and you were Diana Ross, and you were Cher. And she goes, and who do you do, dear? And it was the Carol Channing. I loved it. For me, it was the best point of my life. For him, it broke his heart, and I was like... I'm hoping she's kidding, and she was serious.
She was dead serious. Was she old and doddering at that point? Because she was... urban legend is that she's a man. You know that, right?
I did hear that.
Yeah.
But no, she's not.
You've seen her vagina?
Yes, twice.
All right.
Yeah, those things get wrinkled. Thank God I'm gay.
Then what's going on with Celine Dion's labia? That's the name of a punk band, Celine Dion's labia. You've never seen her in that white... jumpsuit outfit?
You know, I got to be honest, that's probably the difference between a straight guy and a gay guy. You were looking in that area. I was looking at her wardrobe.
I wasn't looking at it. It was commanding me.
I was looking at her hair. You were looking at her.
I look at her hair, too.
Yeah, but it's not the hair on her head.
Your vagina shouldn't be...
Look, she's got a mohawk.
Look, it's only because she's standing next to like an 11...
That must be what those Brazilians are.
Yeah, it's a Brazilian job she does.
Do you do that? You manscape?
I trim it. I once shaved it completely bald and it looked like a rubber chicken. I decided never to do that again. And my wife goes, "This is horrible."
It makes her feel like she's with a younger guy. Is she crazy?
She doesn't like. She likes the older guys. She hates when I lose my belly. She likes a little belly.
She feels more secure then.
Yeah, you drop the hammer on him. It's like she likes older, heavier guys. So when I go to the gym, she's like, "Why don't you just stay here and eat these cookies I made for you? Would you like some lard? Have some lard. Why don't you just lay here? There's a marathon of toddlers and tiaras."
So she's going to turn you into a sex symbol for women that just don't give a damn.
Yeah. They give a damn about their overweight husbands. A quick trip to the post office is hardly ever quick. Driving there, finding parking, it's a hassle. So do what I do. Use Stamps.com instead. Stamps.com is the quick and easy way to get postage on demand for any business. Buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter or package using your own computer and printer. Stamps.com will even send you a digital scale that calculates the exact postage you need for any class of mail. You don't need one of those expensive postage meters, and you will never waste valuable time making trips to the post office ever again. I use Stamps.com. I'm asking you to give it a try. Stamps.com. Today. Do it. Right now. Use my last name, Mohr, M-O-H-R, for this special offer. No risk trial, plus a $110 bonus offer that includes the digital scale and up to $55 free postage. Don't wait. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Mohr, M-O-H-R. That's Stamps.com. Enter Mohr. So what makes a man is there a YouTube clip that even does this justice? Because the listeners
probably, and there's probably different people doing it. See if there's a diva clip, if you do it that way, of Divas Las Vegas doing What Makes a Man a Man. Charles Aznavour.
It's
the number one question after the show is all about who sings that song. Who sings that song? I had a Marine come out about a month ago and say, "You changed my view on the world because of that number."
It's moving. And I said to Andrew, I go, wait, this is one of the most moving things I've ever seen in my life.
The lyrics are amazing.
Unbelievable. And it's misleading. It's just, I work at the shop with my mom, and I do this, I clean, then I go out with my friends, and then something.
And then it talks about all the abuse and ridicule that person takes for being who he is.
But like 3 minutes in, they really lead you down the rabbit hole before you're way invested in this song before they...
And the French accent really just grabs you in the heart and twists it.
And the guy that does it, I always have anxiety when I watch it that he's not going to get his makeup off in time. All right, so Carol Channing was the weirdest. Joan Rivers probably the most appreciative.
Joan sued me in 1985. Now,
wait a minute, hold on.
So the story goes like this. So now I'm going to be Joan Rivers, right? And Joan's playing Atlantic City. I'm living in New York, and I'm doing my weddings, my bar mitzvahs, and whatever. And so I knock on her door as a young kid, and I'm like, "I impersonate you." She was very nice. She had me come backstage. Well, while I was backstage, I met the producers from La Cage, who took me to Beverly Hills to audition for the show they were putting in Florida. I got the audition, went to Florida. Long story short, I told you Pia Zadora saw it, put us in Vegas. I get to Vegas. It's a little too close for comfort. And Joan Rivers, now I'm like 19 years old, and Joan Rivers is calling me at home, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And because she sounds just like the record. And she's telling me, I hear you doing this TV show with Milton Berle. I'm really dating myself, right? And I want to make sure you're not using any of my material. I don't want you using what's on my album. And I said, no, we're doing stuff that his writers wrote. And that it was called Milton Berle Joins an Evening at La Cage. And he actually did my part, and I was just an act in it with him. So we do that, and then she goes, I don't want you using anything from my albums, and she'd do Elizabeth Taylor jokes and all that. Yeah. So
little fresco on the maxi.
So I was a 19-year-old kid that impersonated Joan Rivers, just like Diana Ross is singing Diana Ross song. I'm like, well, what am I going to do if I can't tell your jokes? She had just left Carson. I was very lucky that every comedian from the Improv would send me jokes, say, this is very Joan Rivers-esque, I can't use it, use it. Because they understood you're not a comedian stealing somebody's jokes. You're impersonating somebody, and she should be happy about it. You know, you're the lead of the show. Her character gets to be the spotlight. And I learned how to write a joke, and I did it myself through trial and error. But Joan sued me for $5 million. We settled it because I was like $80 short at the time. So we worked it out. We've become great friends again.
Wait, so you had to pay Joan Rivers?
We never paid her. We settled. But the best part is...
What do you mean?
Well, what happened was Pia Zadora's husband said, I'm going to pay this bill. We're going to get great press from it, okay? And Pia's opening – now, here's how uncomfortable it is. Pia's opening for Joan Rivers at Caesar's Palace with a 40-piece orchestra. Now, you know she wasn't even getting enough salary to cover the orchestra, but when you have billions, you could become a star.
Sure.
Okay, so that's the story there. Joan Rivers backstage, and he would parade me backstage. Joan, you know Frank, and just keep walking, right? Like it was nothing. And then we'd be in court the next day. And then we do that. It was really weird. But he paid the bill because he knew we had to cover the Inquirer.
What was the bill?
I had my like $15 million. Well, she wanted $5 million. We settled for nothing. And she got to copyright.
How do you settle for nothing?
Well, she got to copyright Can We Talk because the judge said you cannot copyright the dictionary. He's actually able to steal your jokes if he wanted to, which I stopped just out of respect.
Yeah, you don't do any Joan Rivers
because it was
jokes.
Public domain.
Right.
I can't say Can We Talk, so I put the sign up behind me. You know, did you notice the behind me?
Yeah.
Which she doesn't really even use anymore. I just keep it for
so
the old timers.
So it's like a
catchphrase. She got to copyright that, like Johnny Carson got to do Here's Johnny. A toilet bowl company was using him and got sued. I could get sued for Can We Talk.
So it wasn't a financial settlement; it was a settlement of we're not going to use this
so we
anymore.
shook hands that okay, I'm not going to sue you. You won't use my comedy material. You can't use Can We Talk because that is hers, and I promised her I wouldn't use hers on my own.
You should have sued her for performing under a presumed penis.
Well, she goes around now. She's friends with me.
I don't even know if that made sense, but it sure sounded good coming out.
She's been really great with me lately. So I've been lucky.
Isn't that weird? People don't realize how long this life is, and how people always go, life is short, life is short. No, you hang around a while. Chris Rock's the best joke ever. If you get caught cheating, life is long, baby. If you get caught cheating. But like you're talking about a lawsuit where somebody went after you and they were mean and there was lawyers and you had to go to court and it was a $5 million thing. Now you guys are like friends and you're on Fashion Police. That's how long this business is. And for people coming up, and I try to say it all the time, like middle acts, opening acts are ruining comedy because there's social media and they can go on a blog and they can talk shit and complain. Where you were coming up and when I was coming up, if we didn't like somebody, we would go out, we would get coffee, and we would talk about that person, and then we would go on stage and we would blow them the fuck up. They couldn't follow us. And now everyone can just type.
Well, speaking like big names like that, so picture La Cage's, the show on the third floor. Then they opened at the Riviera at the time. The Improv was there before it moved to Harrah's. And all those comedians, I got to meet Chris Rock as an opening act. I got to meet Rosie O'Donnell. Frank, could you take me to the gay bar? Now she's a big star.
That was when she was on the down low. She wasn't out.
Who else? I mean, major Whoopi Goldberg, major
Love
stars.
Whoopi. Whoopi's the best.
See, now I watch Whoopi in the morning, and she gets a little. I don't know her now.
She gets loopy.
She was very nice to me back then, but she talks about that she smokes marijuana all day long.
Yeah,
on The View.
Yeah, well, she used to do a lot worse. So I guess if you can pan out around 60, just smoking pot, talking to your cat all day. And then be on The View. You know what? You sit across from Barbara Walters and see if you don't start hitting a pipe. Holy shit. Can you fucking imagine? You get to go on vacation. Barbara Walters comes and goes. So these guys actually argue. They talk shit about each other Like, I can't imagine. So I forget. Who told Reba that he looked like Abraham Lincoln? That is so funny. Tell me who. I want names.
Brittany.
Oh, you told me that already.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So all right. So Dolly Parton wears too much perfume. They're complaining about it. Now, is that like territorial pissings? Like, is there a difference?
We're choking. We can't breathe. They're putting on too much perfume. Could you say something? And I'm in Hawaii. That was the whole
you think
point.
it was because you were not there? Dolly thought, this is my chance to step up in the ranking a little.
No.
Frank's not here.
He was wearing Dolly Parton's perfume to just make the character that much more realistic.
But who's hosting the show if you're not here?
I have a fill-in come in that didn't know what was going on with everybody going crazy.
A fill-in Joan Rivers impersonator.
No, I don't know anybody else that does Joan Rivers. Isn't that funny? Just a comedy MC drag queen.
Let me tell you something. If you ever go on vacation again, I got to MC this show.
You got it.
I'll handle it.
But you got to wear a wig.
Oh, I don't give a shit.
Okay.
I'll put on a dress.
You got it.
Talking about my 15 minutes in Vegas. Vegas has changed.
And I'll send you a brand new pair of open-toe slingbacks for your opening night.
You have been here so long, and I mean that as a compliment, not as a time thing to make you feel old, but it used to be like the Desert Inn and all these hotels. Now, like what happened to Times Square is happening to Vegas. It's become this, like Jimmy Buffett has a fucking restaurant, like Margaritaville.
Look at this hotel. I got here as the Imperial Palace. I had to tell everybody it's not Riviera anymore. I'm at the Imperial. Now they changed the name. It's the Quad. It's hip. They bought O'Shea's. It's a bigger hotel now. The casinos are being which is good because when it's done, it's going to be amazing.
Right.
So now I'm at this great place becoming the Quad. But if I survive the transition, it'll be fabulous.
Where do you live? Do you live in the hotel?
No, it's funny. If all my New York people say, "Do you live in a hotel?" and everybody here says, "Do you live in like in a cement building in New York?" No, I live in an area called the Lakes here.
The Lakes?
The Lakes. It's a lake, and I live at the Lakes.
How far out of town is it?
20 minutes.
What kind of house you got?
What
are we talking about?
I'm building a brand new one right now. As a matter of fact, very big.
I heard you throwing some numbers around just for the people that think, what kind of living you going to make? For somebody that maybe has a child out there that is gay and likes to dress up as a woman and be an impersonator, or for an impersonator out there that's an up-and-comer that says, well, shit, what kind of future is this for me? Why don't you share with the listeners what your house is going to cost?
Well, I won't say the price, but I'll tell you what's in it. I mean, there's a hair salon in it. There's a...
Is it a $2 million house?
No, it's more.
Okay. That's all we need to know.
Okay. But it has a hair salon. It has a gift wrapping room like Candy Spelling. And everybody's
gift wrapping room?
Yeah, everybody's going to say, what's a gift wrapping room? It's a room where you would have, if you're going to dinner, you go in there and you could wrap a bottle of wine. Well, you don't do it. You have somebody do it. But it also is a place where you could have, you're sitting here and I have 3 assistants just watching.
But they watch well. And they're
Don't
handsome.
they watch? Well, he can't see that. He's Asian, so he can only see half of what we're doing.
Now, Kenneth, we should talk. I don't know why I keep forgetting this poor young man's name.
Sean,
I'm so sorry, Sean. It's because you're American. Kenneth is like the star of the show. Have you gone on RuPaul drag racing? You don't have to be in drag.
Wait, he's never done drag.
He doesn't have to. He actually is like an attractive woman.
Yeah.
Like, can I, with your permission, because when the podcast goes up, there's an accompanying. That's a big word for a Filipino guy, right? Mm-hmm. There's a web page at the same time. Can I take a picture of you and put it up on the internet that will go up with Frank's episode? Because I think if people just saw a photo of you and I said, like, this is Michelle, she just moved here from the Philippines, I don't think people would even know you were a guy. And I mean that as a compliment. Is that okay?
There's your photo right there. Give him your photo. Let's take it.
No,
yeah.
We'll take one. We'll take one with my camera phone or something. This is my little gift. I saw that. See, that's why I thought you guys were a couple, because you got a framed photo of the two of you hugging all over the place. Or is that his way?
He was fired 18 times. That was the go. How many finale checks did you get, or whatever you call that? A lot. Yeah, he's fired every other week. Nothing. He's been replaced, but I just keep paying him because I know nobody else will hire him.
And what's Sean's job?
Sean's just new here, seeing if...
You seem like you have a lot of people around you, but you're not sure what they do for a living. You know that Reba does Reba, Brittany does Brittany, Diana does Diana, but the people that actually...
Mike picks up all the slack for everybody that's not doing everything.
Mike, what do these guys do?
And Roger, you'll see in a minute, what does he do? He's like the mafia. He carries a shovel in the car. He's about 5'2", and very bossy, Napoleon complex.
Has the mob, have they left Las Vegas?
They left, but nobody told Roger, and you'll see in a minute when he come in.
You were here when the mob was here in full force,
I was here
right?
at the end, and that's when this was hopping, baby.
Really?
I missed that era. I don't like the corporate era. The Mob was easy. In the Riviera, I just said, may I have my dressing room painted? And it was a yes or a no. It was always a yes. They were wonderful. It was just a better time.
And would you have to go to an actual captain in the Mob? She was... urban legend is that she's a man. You know that, right?
I did hear that.
Yeah.
But no, she's not.
You've seen her vagina?
Yes, twice.
All right.
Yeah, those things get wrinkled. Thank God I'm gay.
Then what's going on with Celine Dion's labia? That's the name of a punk band, Celine Dion's labia. You've never seen her in that white?
Of those days.
All right, so Dolly Parton. So what makes a man?
And P.S. Dolly Parton in real life was one of the sweetest people ever. Just since we're talking,
I've never heard a bad word about Dolly Parton.
She is the most.
She's like
adorable,
the Jimmy Stewart of women.
She's just an angel. She's just great.
Who was the least responsive to being jumpsuit outfit?
You know, I got to be honest. That's probably the difference between a straight guy and a gay guy. You were looking in that area. I was looking at her wardrobe.
I wasn't looking at it. It was commanding me.
I was looking at her hair. You were looking at her.
I look at her hair too.
Yeah, but
it's
not
an
the hair on her head.
Your vagina shouldn't be.
Look, she's got a mohawk.
Look, it's only because she.
Carol Channing in the show, and after the show, she meets and she goes, "And you were Diana Ross, and you were Cher," and she goes, "And who do you do, dear?" And it was the Carol Channing. I loved it. For me, it was the best point in my life. For him, it broke his heart, and I was like, I'm hoping she's kidding, and she was serious.
She was dead serious. Was she old and doddering at that point? Because she impersonated in your show.
Oh, this is the best, and not on purpose. Back in the day, so I told you we had some crazy characters that you won't even know anymore. But Carol Channing comes to our show, and it's really strange when you make me think back like this that she was even there. So Carol Channing from Hello Dolly, those of you who don't know, that's what she lived on for 100 years. Comes to the show, she sits up front, and we did